Hi Aries, and welcome back to your weekly zodiac reading. So we'll be covering this week, which is September 29 to October 5th. Remember, this is a collective reading, so not every detail will land for you because we all walk different paths of life, right? And so take what resonates and leave what does not. All right. Okay, so Aries, let's see. So this week, it's not about the small annoyance or the little delays here and there. It's about something that's shaking you up to your core. The kind of shake that makes you question what's real and what's safe and who you can actually trust. So there's this uncomfortable truth here that the rock was never solid ground. The cracks were there all along and you just didn't want to look at them. Okay, it's more about exposure. So the universe is saying you can't keep pretending anymore. And yes, it hurts, it stinks, but it's something that will free you. Okay, so we have the Tower card, which is the first. This is a team. This is raw, this is brutal, this is honest. So this week, something you have leaned on, whether be it a relationship dynamic or a job situation or a belief about yourself, gets jotted up. So the tower crumbles when you build on false foundations. Okay, and for you, Aries, this is the moment where the mask slips off and you can finally see the truth. So this energy often feels very chaotic, and this chaos is not random. Okay, it's necessary. So think about it. If you keep on building higher and higher on a weaker ground, eventually it will collapse under its own weight, right? So the tower here clears the slate before it becomes catastrophic. Yeah, so here it's where it bites you. You like control. Okay, Aries, we all know that you like control. You like to know what's coming next. So when things suddenly fall apart, you tend to panic. But notice this, okay? Your hands weren't steady on the bricks anyway. Okay, you knew that something deep inside was wobbling, something was not right already. So this week forces you to stop pouring energy into what you cannot last. So if you can let yourself feel the collapse without trying to glue it back together, you will find clarity. Okay, not the fake kind of clarity I'm talking about, not the wishful kind as well, but sharp clarity of seeing what never actually belonged in your life to begin with. Okay, and here is the twist, Aries. We has this shadow card here, right? So this week isn't about that you didn't see it coming. It's actually that you did see it coming. Okay, so the High Priestess here is the inner whisper, that gut feeling that you brushed aside. Maybe you tell yourself this, I'm overthinking. Or maybe you thought that I will just wait it out and it will get better. But your silence become your cage here. You played along so well with the surface story instead of trusting that deep inner calling that you have and you already knew it. So this card calls you out on a habit of ignoring your own intuition here, okay? Because it feels inconvenient. And that's the shadow, denial, okay? Pretending that you don't know when you actually do. So as the tower shakes your world, the High Priestess asks you, will you finally trust yourself enough to admit that you have always known all along? Because that's where your power is, not in controlling the outcome, but in listening to the truth that you have been carrying along all the while. Okay, and then we see the tower card shows collapse, right? The High Priestess shows the truth you already know, and then we have the Eight of Swords that reveal what happens next. Okay, so this card is not about outside enemies. It's not about the exterior part. It's about the prison that you build in your own mind. Okay, your own mind. Take a look at the card closely. You see that the ropes that ties you, which is this is you and the ropes are tying you, they are loosed. Okay, they are loose. And the blindfold actually is loose. You can slip it off anywhere and then. But when you convince yourself you can't, or I'm trapped, I don't have options, then you hand over your own freedom to fear. Okay, so here's the harsh truth this week. You will feel the urge to retreat into helplessness, to tell yourself that life is unfair, that you had no choice, that it's easier to just accept things being stuck. But the Eight of Swords here reminds you, staying stuck is a choice. Painful, yes, but it's still a choice. So if you ignore this tower, the collapse, you will walk in circle, repeating the same patterns again and again, replaying the same old storylines. So the ropes will feel even tighter, even though nothing actually is holding you. Okay, so remember, but if you face it, if you remove that blindfold and admit, yes, it's over, yes, it broke, and yes, I already know the truth, that's when you will free yourself. Not because everything is fixed, but because you finally stop pretending that you don't know the way out. And Aries, the moment of liberation, that's the start of your new path. It's when the courage returns back to you. It's where clarity sharpens up and you see things clearly. It's where your real voice takes on that lead again. Okay, so Aries, so please let this week shake it up, what it needs to shake up, and let the silence turn into knowing. And let your mind and your inner voice tells you, your intuitive trust that, and step out of the cage that you built around yourself. So remember, you are not as trapped as you feel, Aries. You are not as powerless as you feel as well. And you are not as blind as you think. So the Tower clears, the High Priestess confirms, and the Eight of Swords challenges you. So the thread trying to tie them together is you. You are the one that decided whether collapse becomes defeat or the doorway to freedom. So remember, this is your moment to stop circling in the old stories, to choose that liberation over limitation here, and to step into the life that your intuition has been guiding you all along. Okay, and that's all, Aries. So if this reading hits you deep, don't scroll away, hit the follow button, and so that you don't miss the next week's decode. And when you're ready to uncover the truth of your own situation, feel free to DM me for a private reading. The clarity that you're searching for is already waiting, so it's time that you can claim it now. All right, have a great week, Aries, and see you again next week. Bye.